Let's go to Vancouver for a week in May. The main item on the itinerary is car camping on Vancouver Island. It was forecasted to rain as expected for Vancouver, but it wasn't too bad. We took the Hello Ferry into Vancouver Island, and it's a bit more expensive than the BC ferries, but it leaves from the Vancouver Harbour Flight Centre, which is I think considered downtown Vancouver, so it's pretty convenient in terms of location. Then we took the taxi to the motor car rental location and we got this fun truck. Our campsite was in Rathtrevor Beach Provincial Park, and it was pretty dark by the time we got to the campsite after doing grocery shopping, but we managed to set up our tent and made some delicious grilled cheese and butternut squash soup for dinner. The next morning, we made some coffees and breakfast wraps. And after breakfast, we went into the town of Qualicum where there was a farmer's market happening, and I ended up getting some beautiful pottery from here. We did mainly go for the camping, so I tried to not get too many things. Then we went to Horn Lake Caves for a cave tour. This experience was so much fun, and the rain definitely added to the overall experience, so if it's raining when you're visiting, don't let it deter you, and if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. We also rented cave equipment, and it came with cave suits, rain boots, gloves, helmets with the lights, and we kind of looked like Ghostbusters, but we were so glad we rented them because it kept us dry, well, somewhat dry if it wasn't for the super heavy rain, and protected from the cave elements like the sharp edges of rocks. Vancouver Island is so rich in caves with more than 1,000 recorded. It's sometimes referred to as the Island of Caves. Some of Canada's longest and deepest cave systems are found on northern Vancouver Island. Many caves contain naturally white calcite crystal deposits that's built as slowly as a cubic centimeter a century. That's real slow. The whole cave tour was very action-packed. There was a mini waterfall, and we got to go on this slide in one of the caves. It was very short. And you could go a more challenging route if you wanted. I think this one was called the cheese grater. We were doing some cave climbing. We were going down ladders, we were going up ladders, we were walking across slides. And it was such an action-packed cave tour, and again, the rain really added to the fun. We were pretty cold from the rain, so we did try to warm up at a restaurant and then came back to our campsite to enjoy the rest of the evening. In the morning, it stopped raining, so I took advantage and I went to test out my new iPhone camera and got some cool nature shots of the trees, of the bark, of the sun hitting the leaves. I think there's a Japanese word for it. It might be komorebi. I'm not really sure if that's how it's pronounced. I spotted some black rabbits all scattered throughout the park, and and some really big trees and different types of flowers, and the clouds were really pretty. Even the weeds look so pretty in Vancouver. According to Canada's Historic Places website, Rathtrevor Beach Provincial Park is a 347-hectare park and campground located on the east shore of Vancouver Island, approximately 3 kilometers south of Parksville, British Columbia. This historic place includes 2-kilometer stretch of beach, open grassy areas, and large sections of forested uplands interspersed with numerous campsites. The park is also the location of standing and below-ground historic remains, remnants of the historic Rath family farm and the 20th century Rath house. We made some pancakes by the beach for breakfast and also some more coffee, and then we headed out for our activity of the day, which was to visit the Old Tree Park. Cathedral Grove Macmillan Provincial Park is a BC provincial park preserving a section of lush old-growth forest unique to Vancouver Island. Home to 800-year-old giant Douglas firs, grand firs, western hemlocks, and western red cedar trees. British Columbia has some of the finest old-growth temperate rainforests in the world. Known for the size and longevity of their trees, they can be considered one of the richest expressions of life on this planet. This is a western cedar, and this is a Douglas fir. Fun fact, if you see these little mouse butts on the pine cones are usually from a Douglas fir tree. Another interesting thing is about root rot. Cathedral Grove, like all forests, is susceptible to disease. Yellow root rot, the most important disease affecting Douglas fir forests, infects the butt and the root of both living and dead trees. Spores are not only important in spreading this disease, instead once a tree is infected, fungal threads spread along the bark surface and in the wood. Healthy trees are infected when their roots come in contact with diseased roots, and this fungus can survive in stumps and other woody materials for up to a century, which is crazy. Douglas fir trees are the ancient giants in this old-growth forest. They are one of Canada's largest growing trees as they are long-lived, tough, and known for their rapid growth. Many of these trees are 800 years old, surviving a forest fire that swept through this area around 350 years ago. Western hemlock is the main young tree species growing in this old-growth forest. It grows well under the shade of the mature Douglas fir and the western red cedar trees. As the ancient giant trees die and fall, the western hemlock will replace them as the new forest. We stopped by Nanaimo a little bit, got some coffee, got some gelato. For dinner, we made these awesome chicken fajita burritos. There were so many deer everywhere, so I got some cool shots of the deer. And then we walked along the beach after dinner, and the view with all the layers of mountains, it was so beautiful, and the sun was setting, so the water was also slowly creeping up. Here we spotted a rabbit. And then we had a campfire for our last night to make some marshmallows. We're being silly. We were all carrying so much stuff, and my friend had to help me tie my shoelaces. And then we took the Hello Ferry back. When we got back, I was so excited to eat a large bowl of salad and take a long hot shower. Small victory the next day was exactly what I needed for brunch. I got a hojicha latte or croissant sandwich and a little sweet dessert. On my walk to Granville Market, I noticed there were so many different types of flowers in Vancouver compared to Toronto, and I think I went at the perfect time because it was May. There were just so many different colors, everything was blooming. It was such a nice walk to the market. The Granville Island Public Market features over 50 vendors selling fresh produce, artisan goods, and international foods. And it's a very popular destination for locals as well as tourists. I went into some shops to browse. Granville Island was initially named Industrial Island, but Granville, named after the bridge that runs directly overhead, was the name that stuck. I love cannoli, so I got one of these. There was this booth that was selling artisanal pickles. And there was this one store just for fairy and dragon figurines, which I thought was so unique and it was pretty cool. And on the way back, I grabbed some donuts from Lee's as well. Then I took the ferry back to home base. I love taking boats as public transit in different cities when I can. There were a lot of people on their kayaks and dragon boating. And this is my friend's garden plot she was showing me when we went for a run together. It started to rain, but it wasn't too bad. Spotted a rainbow on the way to dinner. We went to Kishimoto, where they claim to have the best sushi. It was quite good. And the next day, I walked down Main Street to do some shopping and explore any cute shops along the street. Welks was really good. It was a general store. I really enjoyed this paper store, which was called Regional Assembly of Text. There were some knick-knack stores, hobby stores. And then I met up with my friend, and she used to do bike tours around Vancouver. So she took me on a bike tour, which was really, really fun. I felt super safe. And I've never gone into Stanley Park before. I've only done the perimeter. So it was really fun to go inside Stanley Park and get all the cool facts that she had throughout the tour, and it really highlighted all of the artwork that's scattered throughout the city, which was really interesting. And we went to this place for dinner, but I honestly don't remember where it was, but the food was really good. So maybe I'll include it in the descriptions later on. And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and bye for now.